Well, hello again, beautiful friends. It's Jack Cox, author of Love Not Fear. I've just done a meme on the inspirational blog website. It's a quote from Thich, Nhat, Hanh. We are here to awaken from the illusion of separateness. So I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but I thought I'd do a dedicated video on just this one subject. The illusion of separateness. I keep saying we are all one. One of the illustrations I give, it's just an analogy, is a group of islands. And all the different islands, all the separate islands. Separate? Really? Huh? You take the water away, you go diving. They're not separate, they're just hills in a continuous landscape. And I believe that's what we are on an energetic level. It's only because we perceive water between the hills that we think they're islands. It's only because of our limited perception in this 3D fake reality that we think that we're separate islands, because we're not. I did a video a couple of weeks ago where I talked about the matrix within a matrix. I talked about the idea that we're in a flight simulator. This world, this 3D reality, or even the 5D that we're supposed to be moving up to in the age of Aquarius that a lot of people are talking about at the moment, it's still not reality. We're living in a 3D illusion, and maybe in a few years' time we'll be living in a 5D illusion, but it'll still be an illusion. I liken this thing here, the brain, to a PlayStation or a Wii. Are they still making those? I've got no idea. It's a games interface which enables us to play in this 3D or 5D, whatever it is, fake reality that allows us to interface with this flight simulator. And when we die and it turns back to dust, and we'll start to realize who we really are. Eternal, infinite beings. So yeah, we're all one, okay? So if we're all one, why would we hurt each other? Why would we try to get the best deal we can possibly get at the expense of the other person? Why would we pay our staff the absolute minimum we can pay them in order to get them to turn up for work? Why, when we get into work, do we do the absolute minimum amount of work we have to do in order to get paid? I mean, it's all backwards. We think we're getting one over on somebody. We think we're winning, but we're not. We're only cheating ourselves because we are all one. There's just one universal consciousness. Some people call it God. And God has differentiated into all of us in order to have experiences, because otherwise it would have been an awfully boring existence. And some people go into altered states of consciousness. They go into trance through drumming, or they take ayahuasca, or whatever it happens to be. They go into alternate states of consciousness. Is that reality? No, it's no more reality than this is. There was a very wise man who lived a couple of thousand years ago called Jesus. Some of you may have heard of him. And now I'm not going to try and push Christianity down your throat. I'm not a Christian myself. Although back in the days when I was looking for an identity, I used to call myself a Jesusite. I think the guy's a brilliant guy and worth following. He said something about, in my Father's house there were many mansions. Yeah, if this 5D or 3D reality, a fake reality, is one of those mansions within the imagination, within the mind of God. And when we go into an alternate consciousness through ayahuasca or magic mushrooms or shaman drumming, we move into a different mansion or a different room, whatever you want to call it, within the consciousness of God. And we perceive it as best we can. But we only see the tiniest fraction of what's out there to see. So yeah, we're all one, but we're all individual points of consciousness within the one, within the mind of God. And this is why I say that globalist, one-size-fits-all solutions can't ever possibly work. Because this is the paradox, one of the many paradoxes of life on Earth. As well as being all one, we are also all individuals, and we are all different, and it's our differences that make us special. So don't look down on somebody because they don't have as much money as you, or they have a different skin colour as you, or they follow a different religion from you, or whatever it happens to be. That's all BS. Just respect that they are different. Their individual point of focus within the one is different from yours. And respect that. It's our differences that make us special. And the same is true of individuals. It's also true of nations. Each nation is different. Each nation has its own unique culture, its own traditions. And that's the great joy of travelling. I've spent most of my life travelling this beautiful planet, seeing lots and lots of rich, wonderful cultures. I love the diversity. Every country you go to is different. The people there are different. They have different beliefs. They have different cultures. This is the great tragedy of globalism. It's trying to force all these different diverse cultures into the same place, bring them all here. That's not what we want. It's bad enough. When I was a kid, when I was a young man, I could travel to different towns, never mind countries, just different towns. But all the town centres were different. Yeah, there were a few multinational companies. There was Woolworths and Littlewoods remember showing my age now, aren't I? There was certainly no Starbucks. All the little cafes were independent, all different. I remember as a teenager I used to spend an awful lot of my time at the BBC, the Bluebird Cafe. That's where all the youngsters used to meet. They're all the same, everything's the same. There's McDonald's. Oh, that's rubbish anyway, isn't it? Where have all the cafes gone? There's, I think, one or two left here in Stafford now. And of course they closed with this. Well, anyway, don't get me going on that one today, please. I've had videos taken down before now for talking about that, but you all know what I think. It's a load of BS. So that's the message for today. We're all one, so let's work together. We are all individual points of focus within the one, so let's respect one another's differences. If we work together, we can build our paradise. Namaste.